Hi, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer, and yes, finally, I'm back to making copyright videos. I'm going to show you how to protect that music that you've been making. Maybe you made it in your garage or your home studio, or maybe your soundproof bathroom, whatever it is. You need to protect it so that it doesn't get infringed upon. You need to register the copyright for your music. And I have to tell you, it's very, very easy. All right, let's get to it. How to copyright your music. Step number one is to get the music that you want to register the copyright for set up to be accepted by the U.S. Copyright Office. As a part of the registration, you actually have to upload your music file or files to the U.S. Copyright Office, and they only accept certain types. Most of my clients do MP3s or WAV files. However, the U.S. Copyright Office accepts all these different types. What's great about registering your copyright to your music online is that you can upload up to 10 different files for one small fee. Before we get to step number two, you might ask, what is the benefit of registering your copyright to your music? And I see three potential benefits. First off, if you register the copyright to your music, it's like making a public record of ownership of that music. So it's like, when you buy a house, recording title, everyone knows you own that house or that property. Or it's like making a police report. If there's a bad thing that happens, it's good to have a public record of it. So that's the first benefit. The second benefit is that if you ever want to sell that music to, like, say, a big record company like Sony or something like that, then you're going to need to register it because they're going to require that the music you sell them is registered with the U.S. Copyright Office. And thirdly, it's really important to register your music in case there's ever a copyright infringement. In other words, someone takes your music without paying you and without your permission, and you've got to fight to get it back. If so, you should register the copyright to your music so that you can file a copyright infringement action in court and perhaps recover $150,000 in statutory damages per violation and recover all the money it took to pay attorneys to prosecute that lawsuit. So if you want to better protect your music or you want to sell it to the highest bidder, then you should register the copyright to your music. And like I said before, it's very easy to do. Okay, step number two is to go to your web browser and type in apeopleschoice.com. Click on that. So I have to tell you, there are two different ways that you can register the copyright to your music. First way is to do it yourself, and I've made some videos about how to do it. It's fairly easy, costs between $45 and $125 depending upon the filing. However, you can also register the copyright to your music by using an online legal document preparation company like apeopleschoice.com or perhaps LegalZoom or Rocket Lawyer. I have to tell you, this video is sponsored by apeopleschoice.com. This is a sponsored video. I am sponsored by apeopleschoice.com, but the reason I accepted this sponsorship is that I really believe in apeopleschoice.com. They are an online legal document preparation company. They do all sorts of documents in all sorts of different types of law, like divorce and probate and estate planning. And what's so great about apeopleschoice.com is that you can go through an interview process, answer the questions, and then actual real human employees go through the answers that you provide online and then prepare the legal documents you need to be able to achieve the purpose that you want done. So I really do like it. It's different than LegalZoom or Rocket Lawyer, who do not have human people that actually handle the responses to your interview. It's more of they send you the documentation. At apeopleschoice.com, they actually handle the case for you. So I really believe in them. So if you're going to register your copyright to your music through A People's Choice, you would just go over to the business section and then you'll go over to copyright and click right there. Another thing that's great about A People's Choice is that for each different type of law, each different type of legal document, they have great descriptions about the applicable law. So if you don't even know what copyright is, you can review this little blog post here, What is Copyright, and learn about it. So it's really, really beneficial to you by using the legal document preparation services of apeopleschoice.com that you can educate yourself on the law. At the same time, you can get your documents handled for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer. All right, so if we're going to register a copyright to our music, we're going to go to Start My Copyright. And we click right there, and then we begin this interview process. It says right here, this is a 10-minute interview, and we'll show you how quick and easy it is to provide the information for your copyright. So what you do, of course, is you enter in your name, which I'm doing, and then your email address and your phone number, and then a phone type, mobile. And then you say here, this interview will set up to gather all the necessary information to prepare your legal paperwork. And we'll click on yes. Let's see how this works. All right, now we go quick start your copyright online interview. Is your work eligible for copyright protection? And it says here, we click on the option, yes, my work is eligible for copyright protection. And then we confirm that I have read the descriptions above and the selected entry that best describes the work I am registering. Now, if you go through and actually read this stuff, you will understand what can be registered with the U.S. Copyright Office. And it's a really, really good description. So I can tell you that your own music that you create at your home studio or something can be registered with the U.S. Copyright Office. So now we're going to click on Start the Interview. All right. Now what we have is we have a client address field right here. So we're going to begin to fill that out. And then we're going to put here all our basics. Okay. And then it says here type of work. So what we're going to do is we're going to say it's a sound recording. Okay. And then what we have to do is input the title. In my case, the title is Ian Instrumental. All right. And when was it completed? Let's just say it's 2020. Publication of the work. Now, this is an area where you have to decide, has this work been published yet for purposes of copyright law? So is it a published work where you've indicated that it is copyrighted? In this particular case, I have not. So it has not been published. It's new. So I'm going to go click on next. All right. Now we go into the author creator section. The author, for purposes of copyright, is the person that created the work. And it could be two things. It could be you personally creating your own music, or it could be someone you work for. So let's say you created music as a employee of a company, then the author in that case would actually be the company. In this case, it's me. So I'll put Ian right here. Right here, it says details about author number one. Author's work was made for hire, like I just described. Author created the work anonymously, or author's name is not identified on the work. Author created the work under a fictitious name pseudonym. So none of those apply, so we don't click on those. And there's only one author, so we just move on. It says here, work contributed by author number one. Please indicate the type of work contributed by the author. It is a sound recording. And then you can add additional authors. Let's say, one of you came up with the lyrics, one of you came up with the melody, one of you came up with, maybe you're co-writing the melody, something like that. What's also great about People's Choice, I want to say, is when you're going through this interview process, it can be kind of detailed. So you may want to do part of it at one time and then part of it for later. If that's the case, you can always go to the save and continue later and then enter in some information and then save and continue later to come back and do it again. So I'll push next. We're doing it now. All right. Now it says here, based on your answers, your claim will be filed with the U.S. Copyright Office using its standard application. The Copyright Office's standard application fee of $65 will be included in your order because there's actually a filing fee when you register your music with the U.S. Copyright Office. So right here, we're going to do, it says doc preparation package options. We're going to do single application, single author, same claimant, one work, not for hire. So that's $195. We'll click there and then we click next. And then here's the section where we do the file upload. That's what I talked about earlier. You have to have it in the appropriate file format to upload to the U.S. Copyright Office. So I'm going to click here for select files, and then it's Ian Instrumental. So I'll just click on that, and that's uploading there. It says it's uploading. Great. It's in there. All right. So now it's one of the files that's going to be sent to the U.S. Copyright Office. If you have additional details, let's say, I don't know, maybe you want to upload the instrumental and the song with the voices on it, or maybe you want to have stems uploaded, you might leave a note in this little section right here to tell the people at peopleschoice.com that that is the purpose for your upload of those files. And then you hit next. And then it says, great job, you're almost done. So now that you completed the interview, we're ready to prepare the document. So we're going to push next. All right. Now, what's so good about People's Choice 2 is that once you've gone through the interview process, then it provides you with all the answers that you gave during the interview for you to approve. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you want to change something. So you go through and see if those are the correct answers, the correct upload. And then you see at the bottom, there's an invoice number of $195. You certify that you are the author and copyright claimant or owner of exclusive rights to the music that you're going to register. Click to confirm. And then you, of course, sign it with a digital signature here. And then it says, let's wrap it up. Go to next. And then it says here, under legal document preparation law, there's some disclosures that you have to review before you submit for the copyright registration. So that's what this is. You have a notice to consumer right here. We'll click through that. And then, of course, there is a contract that you must sign before you get the music registered with the U.S. Copyright Office. You review this contract, which talks about what a peopleschoice.com does for you. And then you click on I have fully read. I guess you go to the bottom. I have fully read. And then you sign right here. I'm not doing a very good job of signing here. And then you click on next. And then you go to the payment details. At a People's Choice, they accept credit card as for payment. Also, you could mail in a check if you really wanted to, but that's the easiest way. And then you fill out your credit card details, and then you click enter in your email for a receipt, and you will get a email in response saying, yes, we've received all your materials. If there's a problem, if let's say you didn't submit the appropriate file type, or you didn't answer a question completely, or the employees at a People's Choice will contact you via phone and get that answer figured out before they submit the package to the U.S. Copyright Office. Now, it's a really big benefit. A lot of times, if you don't know what you're doing when you're trying to register a copyright to your own music, there could be problems. And the U.S. Copyright Office is a busy office. Oftentimes, they don't have time to call or to go back and forth with answers to questions. What's so great about a People's Choice, you pay them a little bit more and they take care of the process for you entirely. So I'm a big fan of a peopleschoice.com. If you need any legal documents prepared online, maybe they relate to family law issues, to probate issues, to estates and trust, to business issues. You could form your corporation or perhaps your LLC. You can do that all through a peopleschoice.com. I'd highly recommend going to that site. All right, that's how to copyright your music in 3 easy steps. The first step, of course, is to have your music rendered in the type of file that the U.S. Copyright Office accepts. The second is to sign up with an online legal document preparation service like maybe a peopleschoice.com. And the third is to go through that interview process, pay the appropriate fees, submit. In about 10 to 6 months, you will receive the copyright registration to your music. And just as a side note, I prepared a legal guide that takes you step by step through the copyright registration process. I'm going to give it to you for free. Just text LAW, that's LAW, to 213-340-3302. All right, that's enough for today. If you want, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, thank you for watching.